Alright, so we're going to take the same worksheet we were using last time and we want to make a copy of it. So I want to right click on that worksheet tab and go to duplicate. And now I want to right click it and I want to rename it. And I want to name this one as 3 and name it basic editing. Because that's all we're going to do here. And then I can click OK or hit enter. And I've got a third worksheet down here. And again, there is a reason why we're doing this. Alright, so a couple things that we want to do to this. First of all, we want to go down to cell C18 and we just want to click inside of cell C18. And by the way, notice this name box up here. If it was C, instead of being C18, if it was C 1800, I could type in 00 C1800 in this name box. And I could go all the way down to C 1800, and using the name box to navigate to a specific cell or to a range, that is a quick method of moving within a worksheet. So anyway, I do want to go back and change that and make it C18, which is what it's supposed to be in that name box. And what we want to do, and in cell C18, you need to type in the words average gross pay. And notice you could just click on that cell and then start typing. And we're going to type the text in just like that. And we're not going to worry about formatting that any just yet. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to go to cell C13. Now I'm going to go to the name box and just change this C19, which is where I'm at right now, because I was in C18 and I hit enter, and the enter key moves me down to the next cell. So that's why I'm in C19. So I want to go back now to C13. And again, using this name box is a way to quickly get to a specific location within the workbook. So now I want to type in, I want to change this number of hours of overtime work by Alicia Wadsworth. I want to change that from 5 to 6. Okay, so I want to change that from 5 to 6. And when I do that, notice how this cell right here automatically updated from 14 to, actually from 19 to 20. And it also caused the cell over here of total overtime paid to update to 596. So, or I'm sorry, from, let's see here. Yes, I'm sorry, it's the total of all overtime work. And by the way, if you'll notice that while I was down here, I couldn't see the headers, and it kind of threw me off for a little bit. Let me show you another objective that's on the exam that I can throw in here to make this better, because it kind of looks like we're going to be putting in more formulas down here. So let me do this. I want to show you how to use a feature called freeze panes. And freeze panes allows you to make it so that certain cells are always visible. And what I want to do is I always want to see column A, and I always want to see the first 4 rows. So what I want to do is I want to click to the cell down and to the right of the location where I want it frozen. Again, I always want to see the first 3 rows, so I'll click in row 4. Or click in row 5. I want to always see the first 4 rows, I'm sorry. So I click in row 5, and I always want to see column A, so I click in B. So B5 is where I want to click. And if I click View and then Freeze Panes, and then I select Freeze Panes again, and notice how it says Keep Rows and Columns Visible while the rest of the worksheet scrolls. So I'm going to click Freeze Panes, and you see I have this dark line. That's how you know what columns or rows have been frozen. So now if I scroll down, I still always see the first 4 rows because they're frozen. And if I scroll out here to the right, I still always see column A. So that's what Freeze Panes does for you. All right, so again, what I want to do is, and it did that. When I did that, I was on worksheet number 3, which is where I wanted to be, and that's good. So I see the text here where it says average gross pay that we typed in previously, and I changed this 5 to a 6, and then we did a couple other things. We froze the pane and whatnot. Now we want to make a couple more changes to this. We want to go to cell A5, it looks like, which is where we're at now. And what we want to do is we're going to change some of this data, and let's see how they want us to change it. Alright, so what they're wanting us to do is go to cell A5, and basically they're saying that we have misspelled Peter, and that's not how we would typically spell Peter, but someone may spell their name like that. But we're going to go and click to the right of the I in Peter up here in the formula bar, and because we clicked on the right of it, we want to hit the backspace key. Now had we clicked to the left of it, we would have clicked the delete key. So we just want to hit the backspace key, and then I want to hit enter. And then now I want to go to cell B6, which is right here, and we want to change 35 to 38. So now I want to come up here and click to the right of the 5 in the formula bar, and I want to hit the backspace key on my keyboard, and then I want to change that to an 8. And then I want to hit the enter key on my keyboard, and when I do that, notice how this Livia worked 3 additional hours, and because of that they got 3 additional hours of regular pay. And now what we want to do is we want to go to cell A9, and here it says Juan Martinez, and actually that should be Javier, so we want to change that. And again, we want to click in the formula bar, and I want to click to the right of Juan, and I want to hit delete 3 times to delete the UAN, and then I want to go and type AVIER so that we've got the correct name in there. And now I want to hit enter, and now we want to go to, so now the next thing they want us to do is to go to cell C12, and again I want to just click up here in the name box, because knowing this skill and being able to use the name box will really help you with future lessons. So I just want to type in C12 and hit enter, and yeah, I could have just as easily found this cell and clicked on it, but again I want you to get used to this for future lessons. And they want us to change this from 8 hours of overtime to 4 hours of overtime. And so I do that, and I hit enter, and when I do that, notice how that changes from $256 of overtime pay to $128. And let's see, the next thing that they want us to do is to go to cell G5, and I just want to come up here to the name box, and I'll type in G5 and hit enter, and it's going to take me to that cell, and we're going to put in another formula right here. So the gross pay is equal to, and remember all formulas start with an equal sign, we're going to put in it's your regular pay plus your overtime pay. So I'm going to click on cell E5, and notice how that's blue, and I want to hit the plus sign, and now I want to click on F5, and I want to hit enter. Now, by the way, notice that once I hit enter, that because we had put a sum function down here in cell G15, because this now has a number in it, that this automatically updates to what you see right here. Now, one last thing we want to do is we would want to see what if our overtime pay rate wasn't 200%, but what if it was 250%, meaning you get double time and a half. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think any company is going to pay you double time and a half, because that would end up costing them a lot of money. But just for the sake of learning what a spreadsheet would do, I want to click on the cell, and I want to change 200 to read 250. And then when I do that, notice how the gross pay right here changes to $825, because the overtime pay changes to $165, and when added to the regular pay you get $825. So then you would get that number down here as well. So then the next thing that we want to do is we would want to use this fill handle on this formula right here and drag it down through row 14, and it's going to use these relative references and copy those down. And because they're relative references, you'll remember that means that the cell addresses will update as we drag this down. The row numbers will change. When I double click one of these cells, you're going to see how these it selects and identifies the cells that are in this formula, and I like how it makes them different colors. It makes them easy to stand out, and so again, it just helps you in identifying potential errors in formulas. So now I want to hit the escape key, and that is it for this particular activity.